Man, talk about a cliffhanger ending for episode 4 of The Acolyte. I was not ready for that. uh, yeah, we're gonna be spoiling the whole episode here, so I'm running behind the times, so most of you have probably already seen it and just waiting for my reaction. Um, but just, full advance warning, I'm spoiling the whole thing as I talk through the episode. Episode 4 of The Acolyte. So you've been warned. Um, so being on the road over the last few weeks and the episode's already coming out, um, I know that my suspicions about who the master is have already been confirmed because they did make it pretty obvious, especially when he's like, "I'm gonna go get water," and suddenly the masked, bad guy boss shows up. So that was kind of, I think it was very obvious to anybody who's done, any serious watching of shows or movies or read any books over the years. But that's okay. It's still entertaining because remember, these movies and shows are made for kids primarily. So kids are going to be, jaws on the ground going, "Oh my God," when that reveal happens in the next episode. Um, be that as it may, really cool cliffhanger. So this episode, I feel like it was definitely one of the shorter ones. I think it was like under 30 minutes with credits and everything, or somewhere right around there. So this should actually be a quicker episode to review. I think this one was a lot of fun. Obviously, we get a cool foresty planet where the Wookie Jedi has gone to basically, I don't know exactly what he was doing here, whether he was hiding in for whatever purposes he was there, because that's not, we don't get a chance to hear an explanation of why he ran off to the forest. Now Soul has told, he did tell Osha that, I promise you I'll tell you everything when all of this is over because you and I are both confronting our pasts here. So I'm wondering if we're going to find out more about the reason these four Jedi ended up on her home planet in the first place and provoked the whole thing that caused May to go off the deep end and everything else. So, be interesting to see how that plays out in the long run because I do have suspicions about things. Um, I think one of the main central points here is there's a moment when May and the little thief cough cough guy are traipsing through the woods and he's pressuring her and she's like, whatever, screw you. And she finally just decides to get out of it and she traps him in a trap and tells him, you know what, I don't have to do this. My loyalty is to my sister. I'm going to turn myself in to the Wookiee Jedi, and then I'm gonna surrender to the Jedi, and once I tell them everything I know, they'll be lenient with me. I just want to be with my sister. And in this moment of, weakness, she has then now exposed herself to her master, who she doesn't really know as her master, and um, thus revealed that she is having a serious moment of crisis and weakness here, which leads to her, running to the house. The Jedi are in pursuit. They're all here on the planet trying to get to the Wookiee as well because they do realize at this point that it's the four who were there on the planet with May who are being targeted. Um, and when she gets there, she finds that the Wookiee's dead with a lightsaber gash across his chest, and then the cliffhanger ending is we're outside, all the Jedi are facing the house, and then all of a sudden they sense something behind them, and they turn around, and here comes the dude, red lightsaber. And what is up with all of the like Star Wars villains needing some sort of creepy mask? It's definitely a theme, and I'm okay with that, but it is interesting to see yet another kind of cool creepy mask, whether it's Revan, however you want to pronounce it, looking at Ray, not Ray, sorry, Kylo Ren. Oh, I said Ray, but Kylo, Darth Vader, so on and so forth. Very interesting to see. I cannot wait to see the next episode because we have a whole bunch of Jedi going up against this one dude. and I've tried really hard to avoid spoilers, but I do know that not everyone makes it out of the next episode. I'm okay with that. It's one of those things where I knew I was going to be on the road when those were airing, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to avoid it because it doesn't matter if you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. Everybody's got stuff up. But I can't wait to see the choreography because I know one of the things the showrunner talked about was really wanting to have a serious, a really good lightsaber sequence in this show that would rival that of Duel of the Fates, which I think it's admirable. That's going to be very hard to do. I would also argue, and my brother and I have had long discussions about this, as cool as Duel of the Fates is, I do feel like the Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Anakin or versus Darth Vader fight that happens in the Obi-Wan show. Obviously, during that episode, it was split into multiple acts throughout the episode, but there are people out there who have combined all of those sections together, and it's this one long supercut of that fight sequence between an older Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, and you didn't kill him, I did. Like that whole sequence, I would argue that fight sequence with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen coming back and getting back into the things they have done before with the lightsaber fights and all the choreography and everything. For me, that lightsaber sequence to this up until this point rivals Duel of the Fates, and it might even be a better sequence when you consider the impact of the lore behind it and the weight of what that fight is, because it's Anakin finally, it's Obi-Wan finally having the weight lifted off of his shoulders and the guilt that he had over, what he perceived as killing his friend, only to realize that, Anakin admits to him, "You didn't do this. I did it. I willingly chose the dark side. I'm not Anakin. I am Darth Vader." And it was a very impactful lightsaber sequence. And I feel like that one really, like I said, it's up there. It might even, I'd have to really watch them closely and side by side, but it was good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the lightsaber fight sequence is going to be like in episode 5. I do feel like episode 4 was kind of, I think the main purpose here is showing that May does have at her core the goodness in her, the desire to reconcile with her sister and to, surrender to the Jedi and pay the consequences for her actions years ago. Um, a fit of rage, whatever, mistake, etc. But realizing now after all these years that she thought she didn't know what had happened to her sister, and realizing her sister is there. Um, I think that speaks volumes to where her character might go. I don't know if her character is going to make it out of the season or not. Whether or not she'll, have a redemption arc or if she'll end up falling to the wayside. We don't know yet, but I'm intrigued and I'm along for the ride. I do wish we would have gotten more of the Wookie Jedi. I don't feel like we got enough of him, and suddenly he was just gone. And so I don't know if we're gonna get more of him in flashback sequences, but cool stuff. Basil, it's a new creature. It's great for kids. It's interesting to see him there, but it wasn't the main draw for me. But I know for the kids out there, the BB-8 stuff, these new creatures, this is the stuff that a kid's imagination just eats up. So I'm looking forward to seeing more creatures and production as we get deeper into the show and beyond. Anyway, stay tuned, everybody. I've got a couple more episodes to get up to. I just realized that I was checking this morning. I guess episode 6 already aired yesterday, which was the day I got home from the office. So I will probably tomorrow get episodes 5 and 6 out, and then I'll be caught up for the last couple of episodes of the season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon here on YouTube. Daily streams here and on Twitch. There's a Patreon and Discord. Stay tuned, everybody. Until next time, may the Force be with you.